Alright, for this project we're going to make a tiny game. And let's start off by opening a new Flash document. Let's make sure it's 800 by 600. I just double clicked this FPS. You can also, I guess, click right here and look down here, and then you can click that and it'll open it. But basically we want 800 by 600 and 60 frames per second. On my computer I set that as default. Once I set these numbers up, I hit make default. If you're on a student computer on a network, it might not save your settings, but you'll need to go in here and just do it manually each time. Hit OK. And now when I first started trying to make games like this, I would have a little player and there'd be walls around and a maze or something, and you travel through it. And when you pass through a wall, it would take you over here and have you make it look like you're passing into the next room. But then a problem arose when I would go back to the other room, the first room, and all the coins and things that I had collected or enemies I had destroyed would come back. I realized that I would have to come up with a solution for that. I would have to probably create a system for tracking, you know, which items had been collected and which ones hadn't. That way we wouldn't have something weird like that, where a player could leave the room and come back and collect coins and leave the room and come back and collect coins. So one solution I came up with to work around that was to actually make a shrunken down game, or I should say the next step really was I would have a room, and then let's make this thicker, 10. So I would then build another room over here, put a little doorway, and then I'd make another room that way they could just pass from room to room and nothing got reloaded, so all the items that got collected would just they wouldn't reappear. But the problem is eventually you can't keep drawing off to the side. Flash will freak out. So here's the solution. This is the way I want you to build this. I want you to first show the grid, and I want you to edit the grid. Now we made it 800 by 600, so if we did 80 by 60, that would make our rooms this size, which is okay. And I have actually created a number of games that size, but this time I actually want to change the size to be double that, so 160 by 120. So now we've got basically 5 rooms, vertical and horizontal. And now to start drawing the rooms, it'll be much easier if we go down to snapping and say snap to grid, and then we take the rectangular tool and we turn this off so there's no fill. And then, so I've got one, and hopefully you noticed when you did that it just sort of snapped into place. I'm going to double click so it selects all that. I'm going to hold down Control, drag out a copy, let go, and then drag it back. Whoops. If it ever gives you a hard time snapping into place, take it away and bring it back. So I'm going to hold Control again, let go, bring it back. It's not quite trying to snap. Let me see. I might need to go snap to objects. No, that seems to be right. It doesn't seem to be wanting to snap in position here. Now it's snapped. Okay. There, now it's doing it right. Oops, that one didn't. It can be a little bit temperamental, as you'll notice. Hopefully that's right. Now that I got the whole row made, I'm going to select the whole thing, hold down Control, drag out a copy. And by the way, the dragging out a copy thing while you hold down Control only works, as far as I know, when you have the selection tool held down. So now I'm going to snap that into place and just keep doing this. Oops, looks like I lost it. Whoops, that one didn't line up. What's being very temperamental today? There we go. There. So now we have all our rooms. Now we can start cutting doorways in it and that sort of thing. And we'll do that in the next video. Or first, let's save it. Save as tinyGame. I'm going to call this, tinyGame _ grid setup. Maybe grid setup. Okay, so that's the first video. I'll see you in the next one.